About 2 years ago, I started this self-improvement YouTube channel. This channel didn't get birthed upon reasons such as passion or interest at first, but in fact, it came about during a point in my life where I was at one of my lowest. We all know what happened around 2021. Our way of life were all turned upside down, majority for the worst, and some went to the moon. More specifically, stocks and crypto. I know most of you guys watching are still students and have no interest or know nothing about such topics, but that's even more so that you guys have to listen. I was a recent graduate back then, finally earning an income for myself. Earning adult money does feel good, allowing me to buy things that I want without asking permission. And I spent my first month's salary on a new computer. Having a taste of what money can do after studying and mugging all my life since I was born, I want more. And that's when I started learning about stocks and crypto. I first came across them when friends started talking about them, bragging how much they are earning, and more importantly, how easy it is to get rich. Everything was going up in 2021. As many people were cooped up at home the year prior and had excess money to spend. I bought into it and was hooked into it instantly. The moment I bought something, it just kept going up. In a matter of months, I was in profits of the thousands, and it gave me the impression that money was so easy to earn. I was hooked onto quick and easy cash, and I started day trading and dropshipping. Every month, I would make stupid financial decisions that would make all the finance gurus out there cringe, such as putting in literally all my money into investments and having zero savings. One fine day, the market started turning south, and money that I had with all these exchanges or brokerages disappeared one by one. My holdings either tanked or the exchange that held my assets shut down due to bankruptcy, and I had no way to get them back. In a matter of days, everything I had was just gone and wiped off the face of the earth along with all these companies. It was a period where I despised myself a lot and constantly asked myself why I'm so stupid. I made all the mistakes that even rookies wouldn't make, and I was punished for it. I allowed my greediness to overwhelm my rationality, and it took everything away. Of course, in hindsight, it was easy to condemn my past self, but the me back then, or more specifically, the more naive and less knowledgeable me, thought it was completely okay to make those decisions. In the subsequent months after that blunder, I completely did not touch any form of investments. It was also a period where I did a lot of thinking and soul searching, constantly asking myself why am I even chasing all this money for? And even if it did turn out for the better, that feeling of being high will end sooner or later. And when that happens, what now? The me back then haven't found my purpose for money. So what do I even do with it? Splurge on materialistic goods? Then what's next? I still wouldn't feel happy in the long term. At the end of it, I came to the conclusion that I had enough of all these pursuits of quick and easy cash. It's okay if it takes me decades to get to my financial goal, as long as what I'm chasing has meaning and has value. Buying into all those stocks and crypto gave me no form of fulfillment to me, even if it did give me money. Maybe a spike in dopamine when it went up. But that's pretty much fuel to a never-ending journey of greed with nothing at the end of it. I want my pursuits to have meaning and purpose that can help someone out there. I've always loved to share my life stories and help others through it, and it gave me a sense of fulfillment that no amount of money can give. I had enough of all those pursuits of quick and easy cash. I aren't kidding when I said that. I really had enough, and I don't ever want to experience those endless sleepless nights of monitoring charts and feeling anxious that I'll lose money. I took it as paying my tuition fee to learn a huge life lesson and move on. With that, I started this self-improvement YouTube channel, sharing my experiences no matter how small it is, hoping that it helps someone out there and focusing on what truly makes me fulfilled. But with all sorts of passion and pursuit, it doesn't mean anything if you don't get to a certain level. As much as you want to become a doctor to save lives, it doesn't mean anything until you completed your studies and actually start working at a hospital. Same goes for my YouTube channel. I could post all these videos that could presumably help people out there, but if no one watches them, it doesn't mean anything. In order to get there, we have to stay in the game long enough to build experience, gain knowledge, make mistakes, and eventually, the fruits of our labor could one day bear fruits. The reason why I shared so much about what actually motivated me to create this channel was because a huge driving force that held me so long in this YouTube journey was the annoyance, dissatisfaction, and me essentially having enough of always choosing the easy way out to success and chasing those feelings of high that means nothing at the end. I had enough of all these easy way out. There's no such thing as easy success, and the only way to true success is to embrace the grind. What's wrong with taking 5, 10, 15 years to grind for that goal? Yes, it takes time, but sooner or later, that day that you have been grinding so hard for will come true. Chasing this easy cash has such high risk that it isn't worth the emotional stress. Why most people drop out of the game in whatever pursuits they have was because they thought they want it, but in actual fact, they don't. Because if they do, they wouldn't give up so easily. We all knew the key to success is consistency, where we stay in the game long enough to build experience until we hit that goal. But most people tell themselves that they have stayed and tried long enough, there's no results, and it's time to quit. But frankly speaking, have they stayed long enough? Have you stayed long enough? A while back, I read this book called The Richest Man in Babylon, where one of the main characters felt indignant that he worked hard, if not harder than others, but he still ended up in the trenches and got thrown into hard labor slavery when others had already managed to buy themselves out to freedom. I used to feel like that as I looked at channels that started for barely a couple of months and already had thousands of subscribers. Meanwhile, I grinded for 2 long years consistently and still didn't hit 1,000 subs. But one of the takeaways I got from that book was that shit just happens, literally, and it can take others years to achieve what others could take days or weeks. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's just life. But one amazing thing about life, or what I want to believe, is this whole idea that things will work out someday. This idea of romanticism that I want to believe fervently no matter what others say is pretty much what kept me going for so long when many others had already dropped out. It could be a stupid reason, it could be unfounded, sure, but because of it, I was at least able to see myself bring this channel past the 1k subs mark, something that I thought was impossible. I'm still really far away from my end goal of having my stories reach out to the millions, but I knew that it could happen somewhere in the future. I'm not sure when or where it would happen, but it will as long as I keep going at it. And that goes the same for you. There's many takeaways that you can take away from this story of mine, ranging from not making stupid financial decisions, not chasing easy success, to the most important of simply finding that driving force that can keep you in the game long enough. Whatever pursuits, goals, or dreams that you have, you can achieve it. Like, seriously, you can. You just have to stay consistent long enough. And I know this advice is overrated and repeated many times, but ask yourself, how long have you truly stayed consistent in something to see results? In the worst case scenario, even if you have been consistent for 5 years or more without results, does it matter? This romanticism of the possibility of having all your dreams come true someday down the road is what gives us meaning, purpose, and makes us look forward in life. Even if I am the unfortunate few that could never see that day, even if I grind on it for my whole life, at least I didn't let my future self down by giving it my all. And it also allowed me to experience what it feels like to pursue something so beautiful and yet far away, something that I would never experience if I don't at least give it a go. It goes beyond this story, but keep this in mind: if you have never tried, you'll never know.